The last topic I want to talk to you about is best practices for building and maintaining those functions. You've had an interesting spectrum that in firsthand managing all these different types of teams. Most of the time, people either inherit them or will take on one at a time. You have firsthand and frontline managed and ultimately manage, leaders of all these different teams. So let's hop through them and just talk about maybe one or two best practices for building and managing that team and the mindset you should have. And that's the last topic I want to talk about. So sales development, one or two best practices for building and managing those teams. So sales development, account executives, account managers, success managers, and sales engineers. Sales development first. One or two best practices, as well as a mindset you should have when building and managing those teams.
Yeah. So, and this kind of applies to all roles. So I'll take like a half step back is, at some point in our careers, you get to a place where you're responsible for things that you are not an expert in whatsoever. And that can be kind of scary, but like embrace it because it's true of anyone. Like you're going to get to a level where you're like, yeah, I have no idea how this thing works, but I'm now responsible for it. And it's an exciting and terrifying proposition. And so the first thing I would say is that's okay. You're not alone, and everyone gets to a point in their kind of journey and career where they ultimately might have that situation. So the best thing to do in that situation is hire people who know what the hell they're doing. Like the first thing I would say is, and this is what's really scalable, and it's surprising because it seems so simple, but so many companies get this wrong from my experience, is hire in really senior leaders that will scale and build that function for you. And so really make sure, like this is what I did when I started building out a sales engineering team at Intercolumn is, I had worked with sales engineers. I knew what a great sales engineering partner looked like. I didn't know how to build that function. I didn't know what the right KPIs were. I didn't know what the right comp plans were. Like I had no idea. And I was fortunate to have some friends that led those functions that I could rely on, early days and be like, all right, what the heck do I do here? Like, how does this work? But the sooner you can go and just hire a subject matter expert who's an incredible leader, who's probably overqualified for the role in the short term, convince the company that's the right thing to do because that person will scale that function for you. So that would be my first piece of advice is like, you're going to find yourself in a situation, like go hire an experts and then just trust them, like let them run, create a framework for them, but just let them go and do their thing. And if you've hired really well, like you're going to be fine. So that's what I would say. But back specifically to sales development.
I like it.
Like, what are you looking for? Again, I would focus more on the leaders than versus the reps and individual contributors. So I would think about what are the really important skill sets you need for these different roles for frontline or manager of manager experience. To me, sales development is operational excellence. You need math whizzes. Like I think there's obviously an art to it, but it's also science, and you need data junkies. Like you really want leaders who love looking at conversion rates, open rates, response rates, measuring every little piece of the funnel in the top of the funnel. And also really have an interest in marketing and digital marketing and can develop strong working relationships with your marketing partners. Like focus on people who look and feel like that and have that expertise, and they'll really help you scale that function. For account executives, it's not to say that operational excellence isn't still really important, but I would say look for very strong coaches. I think the mistake a lot of people make is they hire people who are really high performing in their own right as individual contributors and as reps. And like, I just don't think that translates often into people who are going to be amazing leaders. So you need to focus on finding people who are like exceptional coaches, really good listeners, very situationally aware, have very high emotional intelligence and self-awareness, and are very strong when it comes to hiring. You can test for all those things when you're interviewing people, but for AEs and also for that matter, for account managers, that's what you need. You need really amazing coaches. And that's there as I would focus on those leaders early in your early days is look for those softer skills, and those people will be very successful as long as you give them the right guidance. For customer success and for sales engineering, they're more technical roles. And so you also now are looking for people who have a strong affinity for and love for product and kind of geek out on product, and they're builders and they're tinkers in their own right. And like, those are things you see come through in their experience and things they like to spend their time doing outside of work. And so I think you need to look for people who are very biased towards product and working closely with product, geek out on it and are very excited about it. And blend that together with like an amazing ability to, be good coaches and be strong kind of people leaders. And if you look for those things across the different functions, like you're going to do well and you'll be successful. And you'll also be more confident that you can be outside of your bounds of experience and that those people are going to be doing the right things. I think something I see people all the time is when they hire people into disciplines where that's not their area of experience in their domain, they're just like so paranoid about it. And they spend way too much time worrying about whether or not, are we measuring the right things? Is this person really good? Is our team really good? It's like, no, like define on paper, get feedback from others of what you're looking for. Make sure you're clear on the skills you want for that leader, but then just trust them, let them run and do their thing.